Peace. Good evening, my people. Hope everybody's doing well. First, before I even start the affair, I want to thank all the veterans who served, um, and all the soldiers who are serving actively. The veterans who couldn't make it back home in every war and every conflict that this country has had. Much love to you guys, and much love to those who are serving today currently. I wanted to make this video regarding a Trump revisit to the White House that's going down tomorrow. By the time you guys peep this video, the I think it's customary for the presidents to go back to, or like for the current president, whoever wins, for them to have a visit at the White House prior to like they taking office. Trump didn't do the tradition last election, and I think it's because he thought he was cheated the last election. I mean, I put something regarding my select the title to the video. Man, get the hell out of here! They're trying to like fact check. Now you, I just peeped your comment, Michael Johnson. Boss talking more. I wasn't talking about you though. Like they have like a little community looking thing above my video, like when I'm watching it on my TV. Yeah, you see? Bam! What the hell? No, I don't like I wouldn't put it past YouTube trying to fact check your boy. No, but I saw your message, Michael Johnson. I can't. Unfortunately, I'm streaming off my phone now too because my time with Streamyard is done for the month, or my allocation with Streamyard is done for the month, and I'm not about to pay money for a subscription. But this is what I got right now, and as far as the phone goes, and I'm just gonna make do with what I got. Man, I'm not tripping. Oh no, I wasn't talking to you. It was that message I was talking about, man. Like the this one that I'm pointing at right now. But moving on to the topic at hand, before I even get to the White House revisit, it's official now too with the wins that Trump acquired and the Republicans acquired at the congressional level and the Senate level. Right now, the last tallies that came in for the congressional seats that were up in the air, like that were still in question, and officially right now the Republicans have the majority in Congress, which they already had before, but now it's not up for debate. The Republicans have both the Congress, the president, the executive branch, the Supreme Court, and the Senate. So there's no excuses in terms of what the Republicans have to get accomplished in this election. What the hell is that white thing that keeps showing up to my right over there? I'm gonna face this way just in case that's a ghost. But Trump's gonna have the wherewithal and the ability to be able to accomplish a ton of shit, like without any waiting around. Had there been a contentious branch of the government, like right now, I think the Senate was held by the Democrats right before this election, if memory serves me right. But now there's none of that stuff as far as him being held back in the in any of these branches, and it's gonna make for one dude that has all the power in the world, seemingly, in the next couple months. Now, I don't say that like good or bad. At the end of the day, like I don't trust any politician. You know, I look at all of them just like I did prior to this election. You know, whatever they're doing for me at the moment is what I got to run with. But the things that have been happening in this country, I mean, if Trump's really serious about rectifying like the immigration issue rapidly, I mean, he's gonna have all the wherewithal to do so. And Trump, in the past, was really hardcore about getting his trying to get his way across, and that was without the Congress, like when he was the president, if I remember correctly. So a lot of what he wanted to accomplish back then was being held up. Like I said before on this channel, that the wall, I believe he wanted 5 billion in funding for the wall, and to get the wall done, which I believe he got at the end of his term or near the end of his term, but he did, from according to what I read, buy all the supplies for the wall at the end of his administration and left it up to the Biden administration to try to or to have the allocated supplies and leave it up to them to whether complete the wall or leave it as is. Biden, when he got in, he said that he wasn't gonna build another inch of wall. I think towards the end of his presidency, he actually did add to the wall. I guess like they probably did that like for the sake of a campaign, like, oh well, technically we did build a wall, like typical Democrat doublespeak or overt line. But now with Trump back in office, the fact that the 5 billion that he requested for before, I mean, like, is really a nothing figure. That's not a lot of money, and pretty sure it's going to cost more than that in today's economy. But regardless of what that figure is, it could be 20 billion or 30 billion. At this stage, most Americans would sign up for whatever the cost, if it's going to quell the immigration problem. Like now that immigration problem is can't hide it no more. I mean, especially in terms of New York, people that will try to draw it out as if it's something else. I mean, it's a big problem. Maybe it hasn't reached all the states of yet, but it is bringing poverty to this country when we're already in a state of impoverishment. So I mean, he's gonna have to do really dramatic things to get that popping off. It's gonna get super messy. A lot of media I've been seeing today was the pick that Trump picked for the border czar, if you will, the title that was given to Kamala Harris during the last administration. And listen, that's not an official title. I know this. Having said that, the media and government officials were referring to Kamala Harris as the border czar prior to this election. So, I mean, it may be an unofficial title, yes, but she was in charge of the border. But Trump appointed, or is rumored to be appointing, somebody else at the border, and they keep showing clips of him or his past statements. I guess his name is Honan, in which he was very bullish about what plans he takes to get immigrants out of the country, or illegal immigrants out of the country in the future. And I guess those are making the rounds now, and some people, conservatives, are cheering it on and saying, go for it, whatever it takes. Others are saying that, what will an operation like that entail? Like trying to get all these immigrants en masse out of the country. I mean, it's going to be a disaster regardless of how it plays out. As far as the immigration plan, to get people out of the country, but it's necessary. I mean, I'm having my theories now that things have settled down, and I have a theory about everything. Or what if this is what's happening? It's more not so much of a theory, but what if this is what's going down? But now that the dust is settled in the election, and I've thought this before the election popped off, but I always think what if all this stuff was allowed to happen, like the mass immigration, runaway inflation, really bad decisions on an international level. I always the fact that Biden was even the president, like all this stuff. It's just is a far out theory. No, not a far out theory, but I just think now, like, imagine all this stuff was allowed to happen. Um, because ultimately, at the in 2 months, I mean, Trump's gonna have all the power in the world. I mean, heaven forbid something crazy happens prior to that, like, because that's gonna be really messy too. But at this stage, I mean, I'm not led along by anybody. Trump ultimately is a figurehead of probably the end of woke culture in a sense, which I don't know where the hell woke culture like sprung from, like, because it seems like it was a new phenomenon. It's not even a decade old, honestly. But the woke era, in a sense, like Trump represents like the end of that. And I mean, when I say woke ideology, that has nothing to do with minorities. I'm talking about the stuff that's pumped and studied by pasty whites, women mostly. But in large part, I think Trump represents the end of that on a cultural level. But on a world stage, like where we're gonna enter war seemingly at any point today, I think Israel struck Lebanon. When you have the economy that's due to blow over, don't be surprised at any point if you wake up tomorrow and they say that the dollar crashed. All the signs are there for the economies all around the world to screw up, probably all at once. Chinese economy, they're saying that it might be 60% of its current capacity if the tariffs are put into play. I mean, and they're saying that the yuan will fail because of it. I mean, the yuan, like the dollar, I mean, they're all tied together. The only currencies probably operating outside of all the others somewhat is probably the ruble, but they're all just paper currency. They're all due to fail. And you have Trump at the helm of a ton of chaos that's set off to happen no matter what anyway. And that's not even counting like the potential, like what if somebody loses their life along the way, all these bad things that could happen, like, I think it's all like a representation of a new time that we're entering into. I just keep getting that feeling in general, like just with life on a personal level. Maybe I'm being melodramatic. I have actually had a chipped fucking tooth, and I'm butthurt about that. But like, I have more questions than I do like answers. In spite of the fact that I think the economy will do well, for you guys that invested in Bitcoin, lucky bastards. Um, the fact that the Dow has been doing really well, like all signs point to like a build up and a letdown, like in some case. I mean, or like a scenario, and which I could envision popping off, but we're still really early into what's gonna go down next. Because I have no idea what's gonna go down next, honestly. Like, how are they gonna undertake the illegal immigrant removal operation? Um, uh, what could that country in the Middle East that has a war ongoing with several other countries in the Middle East, what could they get up to? There was a big story about the soccer match in Holland. I don't know if you guys peeped it. I'll talk about that too. But all these things that are gonna be have to be dealt with in like a few months. Like, I mean, and you got to remember too, like the COVID thing. I mean, like Trump probably wasn't anticipating dealing with that disaster, and that was just one thing that got sprung up, like a unprecedented like calamity that was presented to Trump in the form of COVID. But what of like an economy fall apart, World War III situation. Either one of those could be just as bad, if not worse. Again, I subscribe to the notion that the COVID thing was way overblown, but that's just me. But should Trump be dealt with one or two of these cards all at once? He's gonna have to deal with one or two of them as is. I'm saying, like, what if he has to spring one or two of them or three or four of them like in January? Stuff like that scares me, and the potential of some lunatic leftist idiot or somebody who's playing the role of one tries something really stupid in the coming days or in the coming weeks and days. Who knows? Trump also elected uh, or is rumored to be appointing a few people outside of that guy Honan, the guy who'll be the new border czar. There's also Elise Stefanik for the United for the rep to the United Nations. I think that was a decent pick. Actually, aside, not even decent. Supposedly, Senator Rubio that is going to be appointed for the Secretary of State. I think that's a pretty terrible pick. Rubio's a war hawk. They're, I think they picked this guy Mike Waltz for Department of Defense, another war hawk. Like a lot of these people that are really gun ho Israel types, like I mean, which that's 8 out of 10 politicians nowadays. I really don't like them in positions in which a war could spring out or where they gotta go over the top to fund a certain particular country. Like, nah, I don't want any of that stuff. And so, as far as the picks go, like I was reading Twitter, like, and a lot of people were pissed off about the Rubio and Stefanik pick, particularly. But the one good thing with Trump is that he's known for firing a lot of people, and a lot of these people are very sentimental to that country in the Middle East. But I thought too, like, what if a scenario presents itself in which Trump picks a lot of those people who are war hawks for that country right out the gate, like now in November, the month we're in now, and then replaces most, if not all of them, once he gets in office. I don't know. I mean, Trump has presented himself as a big time repper of that country in the Middle East as well. But he's also the only politician that I've heard reeling in or calling out Israel in a significant manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, not double speak either. Like, Kamala Harris did criticize Israel or shade them, but then she was blowing Israel in the last month of her campaign. Like, Trump actually, while in office, called them out for not pursuing peace with Palestine. And now that situation is dramatically more intense than it was at any point. I wish I could show. Oh, I could. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I actually just peeped where I could make somebody a moderator on my YouTube while I was messing with the screen. But if now I was making sure that the comments weren't popping up unbeknownst to me. I'm not used to doing this shit on my phone, so you'll have to excuse me. I gotta walk around the house too while I'm doing this because I can't stay seated. But the title of the video, no, the bigger news is that Trump will be visiting the White House Wednesday. I said tomorrow for the sake of this video because a lot of the people that will view this are going to view this on Tuesday. But the story is that Biden will be hosting Trump at the White House. I think that's something that incoming presidents do with their wives in tow too. And formally, I think they talk about the transition that's going to happen. They present the staff, the transition teams to each other, and they talk about policy and stuff that's playing out in the world. Biden put a statement out that he was going to make that transition smooth for the next administration. Um, Probably take his word on that. Like Biden's far gone anyway, but Trump should have a grip on it anyway. I don't think that any assistance withheld like by this current administration is gonna stop the Trump train from moving along one bit. Nor would I care, like if they don't make that transition smooth. I honestly rather like not even have any input from Biden team. But Trump's attending this Wednesday anyway. A lot of people were fear mongering like as to what could happen during that visit, but we'll refrain from any of that crazy talk for the time being. But I'm still seeing a lot of meltdowns. I mean, a lot of people in my personal life calling me and trying to bait me into arguments about the shit, or guilt trip, like make it seem like this one little headline they read somewhere, maybe presenting it to me and trying to guilt trip me, I guess, into feeling bad. But I don't feel bad one iota for supporting Trump. I gotta be totally candid, my friends. I'm gonna withhold whether I voted or not for a later time. I don't want to be a hypocrite. In spite of the fact that I wanted Trump to win, I'm gonna withhold whether I participated in the events. The answer may not be surprising for anybody who knows me or maybe listening to this now. But there's a lot of intrigue happening all at once. There's also the a lot of people rehashing a Trump video from the past and making it seem as if that's Project 2025. I actually got gassed by that myself. I'm not on like a lot of Trump media like that unless it's like mad interesting or it's being like talked about on Twitter, like heavy duty. Otherwise, I don't go looking for a lot of Trump media like that. But there was a spate of videos that were pumped out in which they had Trump talking about his plans, like to dismantle the deep state and all that stuff. His term limits for Congress. A lot of these plans that Trump had talked about in 2023 when he was campaigning on a video are making it out to the public now. A lot of people are saying it in a scary light as far as him investigating a lot of these Washington types, like these unelected people that you never really see their faces, but are down with these like schemes that happen in Washington. Washington is just a really grimy place, honestly. But one of the things that he did mention was actually logistically taking Washington, D.C. out of Washington and spreading it all over the country. I'm 100% for that. I lived in Washington for a year. I hate everything there, and most of the people there are very snobbish. In spite of the fact that I met friends that I have to this day in that wretched city. But they do got to break up the Washington monotony. I mean, one, to alleviate traffic on 95, but also because a lot of the people that are supposed to be inspecting elements of the government or elements within the government in Washington D.C. are based in Washington D.C. themselves, like these inspector generals that are the overseers and making sure that corruption doesn't take root in these departments. A lot of times are situated in the same office buildings as the departments that they have to investigate, and that shit shouldn't be. It's not that way in the military, and it shouldn't be that way in the most important government in the world. But I'm with all that stuff. I hope they do, with the advent of having Elon Musk in this cabinet, do make internet free. They have the capability of making internet free or really cheap. Those Starlink units, they could probably, at the government level, produce them for a couple bucks a piece. And if that gives the internet at a really cheap rate or for nothing, we should be doing that. A lot of the systems that are in place in the world right now are antiquated to the core. Like how we don't have a better internet at this stage, it's beyond me. But I think a lot of it in this country and around the world, we've been stymied by not just the environmentalists. Like, I mean, that's one of the ways in which they stymied like the creation of a better society. But just really stupid people, like non-logically based. I don't know. But I think the last like 5 years have been really taking a turn into like deviating away from logic, which is unnatural, and that's why people feel so off. But or have been feeling so off a lot of times in silence. We're just getting to the point where it's like a little bit of an exhale happening collectively for people that are against the non-logic way that this world has been operating the last couple years. But there's still a ton of hard work left to be done. Um, it's really no time to relax right now. I mean, in spite of the good vibrations that people are feeling, I mean, one, Trump's not in office yet. If you did want him to win, um, two, all these other bad things that I mentioned earlier that could go down. I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe like the fact that I chipped a tooth has me feeling uneasy in general. Um, or the fact that I've been having some bugged out dreams. The last couple of nights, haven't been dreaming at all, like for a couple of years, honestly. And well, I'll say this candidly, I've had dreams since I was a kid. I've said this in a past video. Like since I was a kid, I always had dreams like pretty much every night, and they always, for the most part, suck. Like never have dreams with like no broads. Um, or if I do, it was like kissing broads or some whack shit like that. I mean, like, you know, not taking it there with broads, if you get my drift, in my dreams. But a lot of times my dreams would just be like random strange stuff. I mean, like and for the most part, the like since 2021, I barely dreamed, and um these last couple nights I've been having some extremely bugged out dreams. I actually had a dream where I was standing in this my doorway right here. Hey. Last night, and um, somebody just swung it open, like, and my wife wasn't letting me go out there and like check, like who was out there, like, which like it's kind of like my not. That's like my worst nightmare, but um, I'm very vigilant of you know, not having my shit get taken, if you will. But it's corny dreams like that, like you know that I haven't had like for the better part of like 4 years, and all of a sudden like started going down again. Like in the last like week or so, and it's not because of excitement like of a Trump win. I mean, I don't know, but nevertheless, like maybe that's why I'm feeling pessimistic about what could go down in these next couple of days. Another bugged out thing too. Those robot dogs. Those shits creep me out. Like but there were videos since I think before the election, even like of Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago having some of those dogs around the property, like I guess for security purposes, and that had me a little uneasy too. Like I don't want those robot dogs or any robots of any variety to be a thing that you see commonly. I don't want people to get used to that. The fact that like AI like is like a thing since like what last year, like and that sprang out of nowhere. Like they make videos with AI and everything now. But the technology that we have been getting the past couple years is either shitty or scary, as in AI and those dumb robots. So I don't want that to become a commonplace thing in which robots serve any function in regular society. You know, uh, I've heard that Elon Musk is actually doing a robot that's gonna cost like 30 grand. I mean, which would be dope for like, I mean, like doing like lawn shit if it was applicable, like for somebody like me, bad allergies, or cleaning cat litter. I'd be totally cool with that. Somewhat. I mean, actually, no, I would be opposed to it because I wouldn't have want to have like no robot, fucking regular sized dude walking around the house or hovering over me as I sleep. No thanks. I mean, unless he was like willing to throw hands for me, that'd be cool. Trump, 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 mega, mega, mega. Oh yeah, my friend. I hope you're feeling it up there in New England. The No, all jokes aside, and much love, Bruce Gas for showing up too. I hope you watch all those dope fights this weekend. I don't want to get into. Oh, I'm not gonna talk boxing because then I'll get lost in the weeds. But you know, definitely like the and Elon Musk. I mean, in spite of the fact that yeah, he's alienated with Trump currently, but do I trust him? No way. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust Putin. A lot of people have been cheering on Putin as a protest against the Ukraine war. On the conservative side, at least, um, it's nothing I cheer on. I mean, or wouldn't trust him like that. I don't trust Elon Musk much. Neither. I mean, and not because he's solely rich and powerful. Like none of that stuff. Um, I've seen a lot of the people that have been around Trump historically, like alienated, aligned with him or not, um, do him dirt. Trump will be the president for the. Comment disappeared. Oh, sorry too. I'm doing this off my phone. Um, Damn, I don't know where that comment went. But live chat. Oh, Trump will be the president for the next 4 years, or 6 or 8, or something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's a theory too that some people have that Trump's been the president these last 4 years too, and one could make a case for that theoretically because he's been in charge of the conservative party at least in unofficially. The fact that I thought you didn't like Trump, Bruce Gas. I'm loyal to Trump. Now maybe you're pulling my chain, but I thought you didn't like him. But also when you have the fact that a lot of these people are snaky or really powerful at times, and Trump portrays himself kind of like as I'm the most powerful guy in the room. I mean, maybe people are trifled by that. Who knows? But a lot of crazy shit happening all at once. Trump, God, country. Man, I didn't know you were this patriotic, my friend. But I'm glad that you're comfortable with the. I mean, hopefully it's not a Bruce Glass troll account either. The let me know what part of Massachusetts you're from, my friend. I actually think I had a troll account commenting on my shit recently too. It might have been that cornball Mr. Shelton that made an account on which is something that I don't answer questions. Nah, never that. No, I'm only asking too because I've actually been to your hood, my friend, the real Bruce Cast recently, and the real Bruce Cast knows this, even though we ain't linked up, but uh, I'm familiar with my brother Bruce Cast's hood. Then you know. Oh no, I certainly know, my friend. The no, I'm just trying to see if this is the official, but which I'm suspecting it may not be. But nevertheless, my friend, I take troll commentary just as much as I take legitimate ones. Anything to get my channel riveted up, I'll take it. Especially if it requires no input on my behalf. But I want to make a well, actually no. To hell with the person I was gonna mention. But I'm going back to what I was saying. Like I don't feel much. I feel extremely unsettled, and I was feeling unsettled before this election went down. Nothing to do with anything I read. In spite of the fact that I read a lot of things like that may seem negative. Like I mean, as a man, you should be head first into everything that's happening in the world, negative or not. Like because that's got how you got to make your decisions, like for you and your family and whatnot. A lot of people have their heads stuck in the sand purposely, like because they feel like they have no input and no sway, and that's the stupidest shit I as a man that you could or that kind of mind frame is like really stupid to operate in. But right now, if there's any time to be informed on, this is a fantastic time. I gotta get up real quick though. This thing's sitting on the floor and it's killing my back. It's another thing too. The last couple days, my back, my people's has been barking, barking like no other. But so yeah, definitely. Like I haven't been feeling too comfortable with any of this stuff happening around the world, and some of these picks too today that Trump did, to be completely candid, to don't make me feel any better. That's another thing too. There's a lot of talk regarding Iran, like conducting like these spying operations. Supposedly they had hacked into a couple politicians' phones, and this is like over the weekend that the story came out. But you also have Iran supposedly making threats against the president, or like plots to do the president harm in the past, which I don't really get because I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it just seems off, like as to why a small country like Iran, who Trump's called out in the past and threatened in the past, Like I don't really get like, and I say that in the sense that when Trump threatens a country, usually they cave in, like historically, while he was president. But I don't see why they, right before a Trump presidency would be poking the bear. This doesn't make much sense to me. Like, and I'm not saying it because I think that they're dumb or no. I'm saying it because it doesn't make sense. Um, Tactically, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'll put it like this: it just seems like a lot of times they're like kind of like the all too convenient like country like to be blamed for some sort of escalation in that region. I'll put it like that. You know, like when there's other countries that are could take the blame for instigating just as much. I'll put it like that, if not more. But why would they at this time be threatening president like who they know is extremely hawkish and know that could really make things really hard for them? I don't know. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Um, Around here though, I mean, I am like here in New Jersey, like the state that I reside in currently. I'm starting to see a lot of undocumented looking people, or a lot more of the cats that you would see in New York, like the young, newly arrived looking illegal immigrant from Venezuela, phenotypically. As far as the ones that I see here, like the ones that stick out, like because there's not a lot of Venezuelan cats in New York prior to this new migrant wave, and the way they dress, like they look kind of like Dominican, but they're not. The way they speak, I could peg them for like the country of their origin. Anyways, you weren't seeing a lot of those in New Jersey neither, and now you're starting to see a little bit of them trickling in. There's rumors too, like in terms of the migration thing that's happening now, that there's people that work with migrants, like in New York, that are offering them tickets to Canada, and that's gonna be a major pain in the ass too. Canada is very open as far as taking migrant communities into their country, but Canada right now is a really tough place to live in. That's a super expensive as far as their cost of living. House prices in Canada are insane. I mean, look at the show House Hunters and like what they're paying for houses over there. It's ridiculous. But also too, the housing problem in Canada for a migrant community similar to the one that you have in New York is going to be a lot more dynamic of a issue, seeing that Canada, like New York, is a cold place, but Canada is far colder than New York. Anywhere you go, especially in the winter. So New York got away with housing a large population of migrants and or people that were supposed to be in the shelters that were used on migrants. A lot of that population ended up in the street. No other way to put it as far as in New York. But in New York, if you're living in the street, like I was homeless in New York, and once I got kicked out of my mom's house, it was right to the trains, and that's why I lived. Not even lived there, but I slept on the trains. I would just ride the train. I would take the R line from 95th Street in Brooklyn to the last stop, which I think was Ditmas. No, it wasn't Ditmas. It was in Queens. Damn, what the hell is the last stop on the R train? I'll remember. Like it doesn't matter. But I would ride that train from my neighborhood all the way to the end of it, and it would take about 2.5 hours. But that's how I would catch my Z's, and then I'd wake up and wash my ass anywhere, and then go hang out like nothing happened, like if I was not homeless. But to do that nowadays in New York with all these migrants, it's a little bit of a tougher proposition. And when I was young and I did that, I was probably like 15 or 16 when I first left the house. Not left the house to hit the streets, because that's in New York when we say like leave the house, as in when you started your street activities. I left the house before that in New York terms, but I left the house as far as getting kicked out the first time when I was probably like 15 and 16. And during that time, I didn't sleep on the trains the whole time. Um, like I would sleep on the train if I didn't have somebody's house to sleep over. Sometimes I would sleep in my mom's hallway, but it was really uncomfortable there, and it was hot, and it smelled of piss. But oh, and you would hear constantly people walking up the stairs, and a lot of times I would think like, are they gonna go all the way up like towards the roof, like so you really couldn't get comfortable. But the trains that had AC, I could put my hands in my arms inside my sweater and like cool off. But the one bad thing with the train is that um people try to rob you, and that actually happened to me um for a little chain I had. And I actually traded, while I was living in the street, I traded a book bag for that chain because I needed a bigger book bag to carry a steel whistle around. Though the steel whistle that I had at that time was a bigger one, and I needed a bigger book bag to carry it around. So I traded my book bag for a small chain, and I probably had that chain for like 3 days, and some fucking moron Panamanian tried to rob me while I was sleeping, and I had to shake it up with him. But granted, I'm like 16, 15 when that happened, like, and like getting woken up like that, it's terrifying. But you know, that's New York for you. But is that possible now with all these migrants? Hells no. And the thing is too that a lot of times I take the train, and even in the rush hour crowd, the train wouldn't get packed. In New York City now, like the rush hour is early and earlier, so those trains are packed by like 5 in the morning. 5 in the morning, like once that train's running, it's kind of packed. So you can't like hide and find refuge in the winter in New York if you're not like, you really can't survive like going place to place like that and spending a night or two on the train because it's so cold. And New York is far more terrible now. So it's good that they're bringing them out of New York and offering them rides to Canada. I mean, the one problem is that their country's in the south, Canada's north, and in between is America. So, could they end up right back here? I mean, certainly. Um, that brings me to another reason. Another thing that I'm not too comfortable with is like, how will they employ this mass immigration or deportation effort? Like, how do they differentiate like from who's Gucci and who's not, without them trying to implement like a some sort of mandatory identification system? Which shit like that scares me. Anything that they try to mandate scares me. Like anything that they try to mandate, like I makes me want to look for a workaround, if you will. But that could be the next thing, like the whole like in an effort to quell the migrant problem, or that we have to start using putting these crazy measures into effect. That's just one possibility, I guess. Look at this shoe, baby. 11, baby 11. Yeah, she's knocked out. But I'm gonna leave the stream as is, and I only wanted to come on because I wanted to try to get more time where the channel is not having any activity at all. But I do want to try to pump my numbers up. I'm really close to getting to that 500 threshold, which with YouTube I never thought I'd get there, but hopefully could get there soon. Of any days that I've been doing YouTube, today was probably the day I wanted to do it the least. But I'm glad a few people did come through and commented. But if you could please like and share, subscribe feasibly. I'm gonna try to do more content, particularly in the field. I want to get some interviews popping off with really interesting people. I don't want to say who yet, and honestly, it's nobody anybody would anticipate. To be frank, and I'm not saying that like pumping my own self up. Um, I want to do a lot of weird, extremely weird interviews because I'm interested in all things weird. But I just want to do content about other shit. I mean, like, but like my interview series, I think is gonna be bomb. Like, I think I could get some really interesting people that I know or that I could get that I'm somewhat connected with, and I'm trying to work some of these things out now. Um, Look at this little baby, another cat. I'm trying to get these things worked out now, like to get my the Surf File Player interview series popping formally. But I get there when I'll get there. My sneak peek, as far as the interviews go, I want to get some gang people on my shit. Some people from the entertainment industry or the club industry in New York City, like and that's gonna be a really strange one, or a fun one, I guess. Not strange. I mean, more strange. Um, I'm gonna get some criminal people like to come through as that I got lined up. Um, Unexpected stuff like that though, not like atypical criminal people. Um, Random. I mean, and I even want to interview like some of the illegal immigrant stuff in New York, but that's a little shaky because a lot of these dudes be playing themselves and they're um they're usually in little groups of 8, and I don't roll in group of more than like 1 or 2. And um these Venezuelan cats like they play themselves, like they do a lot of feminine type shit. Not like that, like just loud and instigaty type. From the ones I see in Manhattan, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know if I want to engage like too much in that vein, unless it's like some sort of one off, like interviewing somebody one on one type shit. But I'm not gonna go like some herb and ask a bunch of fucking violent Venezuelans, fucking if they could tell me what they feel about their country's experience. They could tell me when they leave. But a lot of shit like I want to get lined up, but I want to get the channel riveted up a little bit first before I start trying to do more interview stuff. I want to have recurring guests too, like with some of these interviews. One of them is gonna have to be recurring because a lot of stuff that he could detail, and I want to get a lot of details from him. But I guess I'll get to there when I get there, and you guys will know at the same time. But again, like, share, subscribe, dislike, anything to help me rivet this channel up is a big help. But I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and peace out.